Just before I go to your calls, I spoke yesterday about this issue in the Liberal Party on Wednesday night out in that federal seat of Mitchell. And this fellow, Alex Hawke, who is the member for Mitchell, he's a young fellow, conducts these meetings in his electorate, and in my view is that he should not be in the party, let alone in the Parliament. He conducts these meetings in his electorate office so he can control who comes. That means he'd always have the numbers. And there are many people in Canberra in the Liberal Party who say that's all he worries about. This bloke should not be a member of the federal Parliament. And apparently there are people within the party who are terrified of him. And the rest we know, people who were entitled to be there as branch members, were prevented from entering by some of Hawke's bully boy mates, and he called the police on the excuse that the meeting had become unruly. The police have now said that this was a palpable waste of their resources, and if the Liberal Party had a spine, which I seriously doubt, it would investigate why these people were denied entry to the meeting. But it's got worse for this power freak, Alex Hawke. He must be careful he doesn't allow himself to be branded as a liar, because he claimed yesterday that the people came uninvited. I'm in possession of the notice of the meeting. The agenda was sent to all members of the branch via post. Hawke knew everyone who was at the meeting, but he couldn't control the outcome, so he called the police. He claims no other meetings in his office have been like this, but there's currently a dispute in front of the New South Wales State Director of the Liberal Party in relation to the proceedings of the previous meetings in Hawke's office. Does Hawke fiddle with the truth? I've got in my possession 3 of the 9 statutory declarations signed by members who were accepted at the meeting in May but are not members of the branch, as it's being alleged that Hawke doctored the minutes of the meeting to say that those people were rejected, and then passed the minutes at the June meeting only because he locked members out who were entitled to vote. Yesterday, Hawke argued that 60 people gate-crashed the meeting. At his second attempt in the media, he revised it to 40. He said that many of the people who attended the meetings were unknown and not members of the party. Well, again, I have with me the attendance sheet from the meeting and the branch listings. And the sheet proves that everyone in attendance was a member of the branch and entitled to attend. I also have the names of the only people not registered on the list, and that was for legitimate reasons. But I have with me statutory declarations from the dispute which outlines just how involved in the party several of the people were who were rejected. One was a young man who did work experience with Hawke in his Canberra office last year, and who happens to be the school captain of a local school. Hawke is saying that branch members were violent, so he had to cancel the meeting due to unruly behaviour. My advice is the only unruly behaviour was from one Andrew Jeffries, a staffer of Hawke's, who was preventing people from coming into the office by pushing them back. I repeat, the reason the electorate meeting is held at his office is that he can control the numbers. Now, there's a bucket of misinformation coming out on this bloke. When is the Liberal Party going to wake up? And what's being said, I quote from one letter today, what needs to be understood by the public is that Hawke's conduct is ignored because his best friend and mentor, Nick Campbell, who's meant to be a full-time employee of Johnson & Johnson, turns a blind eye. Hawke is not intelligent, he just does Nick Campbell's dirty work. Campbell, of course, is the president of the Liberal Party in New South Wales. It says Campbell, while being paid a high salary to do PR for J&J, sits in his ivory tower being the puppeteer of the New South Wales Liberal Party, pulling all the strings, and if you don't fall into line, you get knifed. And the letter says, as a result, the development of the party has been stifled by these two. We're talking about power-drunk people. And the party's going to have to do something, or Barry O'Farrell will pay the price. And the first thing that ought to be done is pre-selection for the seat of Mitchell should be withdrawn from Alex Hawke. That's the first thing that should happen. No, we can't. No one can condone that sort of behaviour in breathtaking. Joe, hello?
Good morning, Alan. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Excellent.